Have you ever felt uncomfortable with how someone treats you but couldn't pinpoint exactly why? Some people seem friendly, smiling, and saying seemingly warm words, but deep down, they actually don't like you. This can lead you to waste time, energy, and even trust on relationships that aren't worth it. Imagine this. One day you realize that the person you considered your close friend is the one who hurts you the most, not through overt actions, but through subtle words and behaviors. This isn't just your story, it's something most of us have experienced. Don't miss this video, as I'll help you identify 7 subtle but crucial signs that someone doesn't like you but is hiding it. These signs will not only help you escape toxic relationships, but also bring you peace and focus on those who genuinely value you. Stay tuned until the end of the video, because I won't just share these signs, I'll also provide thoughtful and practical ways to respond, helping you protect your self-respect and inner peace, all rooted in the deep and practical philosophy of Stoicism. And if you find this helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more valuable lessons to enhance your daily life. Let's dive in. Sign 1. Seemingly harmless but malicious jokes. The Stoic philosophy teaches that we should not let other people's words hurt us, but that doesn't mean we should ignore them all. Remember, a joke about a flaw that is repeated over and over again can be a way for people to undermine you. Some people use jokes as a weapon to undermine others, leaving you feeling confused and hurt without being able to react immediately. You can recognize this type of person by the way they choose the target of their jokes. Instead of aiming for general humor, they often focus on your personal flaws, from the way you dress, your voice, your work, to the smallest mistakes you've ever made. The joke might be, "You must have bought that shirt at a discount, right?" Or the joke about your work ability, "I didn't know you could do that." While you may laugh it off at first, the repetition of these jokes will gradually erode your self-esteem. You'll start to wonder, am I really as bad as they say? A coworker of mine used to love to joke about the way I dressed. Every day when I came to the office, he would say something like, "Another simple outfit today. I like how frugal you are." At first, I thought he was just joking, but as these comments became a daily occurrence, I began to question my personal style. I even thought about changing my wardrobe just to fit in. But then I realized something important. I don't need to change myself just to fit the vague expectations of others. The Stoics remind us that our worth is not in the words of others. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not a substance." When you encounter mean jokes, it's important not to follow their opinions, but to recognize the true intentions behind them. Ask yourself, is this joke constructive or is it destructive? If it is destructive, you need to set limits. Stoic philosophy doesn't advise ignoring all bad words, but emphasizes the importance of controlling your own reactions. You can choose to face it calmly and intelligently instead of letting the cruel jokes shake your self-worth. Remember, people who truly care about you will not need to use offensive jokes to make you feel bad. They will always try to build you up, not tear you down to build themselves up. Choose the people who are worth being around and have the courage to say no to harmful jokes. Sign 2. Compliments that undermine your worth. Compliments that come off as sarcastic. In communication, compliments are an important tool for building relationships, creating goodwill, and boosting morale. But when compliments are used incorrectly or deliberately used in a negative way, they not only fail to build, but also undermine the listener's confidence. This is the toxic kind of compliment that carries a hidden message. You're not as good as you think you are. Imagine you spend hours, even days, preparing an important project. After you've completed it, you proudly share it with your colleagues or friends. But instead of receiving genuine recognition, you hear things like, "Wow, I didn't know you could do that. That's surprising. I thought you weren't very good at this. That's interesting. I didn't think you could come up with that." These compliments may sound positive, but they have a hidden undercurrent of contempt. They don't focus on your accomplishments, but rather emphasize that you exceeded expectations, the low expectations they set. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You are not valued by what others say, but by what you do." The Stoics emphasize that we cannot control what others say or think about us, but we can control how we perceive and respond to those words. A sarcastic compliment does not diminish your true worth unless you allow it to. In fact, demeaning compliments often stem from the speaker's insecurities. They may feel uncomfortable with your success, feel compared to you, or feel overshadowed. By using these compliments, they try to pull you down so that they don't feel small. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "Others have the right to say whatever they want, but we have the right to choose how to react." When you encounter compliments that are meant to belittle your worth, don't let them hurt your self-esteem. Remember, you are not what others say, but what you actually do. Stoic philosophy teaches us to stay calm, focus on our inner values, and deal with negative words intelligently. And finally, always remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: you have the power to control your mind. No one else has the power to control your thoughts. Sign 3. You're excluded from plans. Heartbreaking signals and smart responses. There's nothing more painful than realizing that you're no longer an important part of someone's life or a group of people you thought you belonged to. When you're excluded from plans, the feelings of loss and betrayal not only affect your mood, but also make you doubt yourself. What did I do wrong? Or am I not good enough to be here? These thoughts can send you into a spiral of self-blame and disorientation. But before you let your emotions take over, try looking at the issue through the lens of Stoic philosophy. In life, exclusions are often not accidental. When someone repeatedly doesn't invite you to activities, it's usually a deliberate signal. We don't want you here. I once accidentally saw on social media that my close friends had organized an exciting picnic. The photos they shared were filled with laughter and joy. The painful thing was, no one in the group bothered to text me an invitation. When I asked, the answer I got was, "We thought you were busy." This explanation seemed harmless, but it actually conveyed a clear message. Your presence is not so important that we need to make sure you know. This is not only an excuse, but also a clever way to avoid responsibility. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste your energy on things that are beyond your control." This means that instead of getting upset and trying to change the other person's mind, focus on how you react to the situation. When you realize you've been excluded, you have two options: confront it calmly or accept it and let it go. If you feel that the friendship or relationship is worth saving, be direct but gentle in your approach. This is not to pick a fight, but to understand the situation. If their response or attitude shows that you are not valued, take this as a signal to leave. Epictetus once said, "You lose nothing of value by walking away from the wrong people." Remember, your self-esteem is more important than holding on to a relationship that makes you question your worth. Being excluded from plans or a group of friends is an unpleasant experience, but it can be a turning point in your life to help you reevaluate your values and direction. Remember, the people who are truly worthy of your company will never make you doubt your worth. Use each exclusion as an opportunity to purge the relationships that are not worthy and focus on the ones that are more genuine. Stoic philosophy not only teaches you to keep your cool, but also helps you realize that your self-worth is never determined by your presence or absence in other people's plans. Sign 4. They're always busy. When it comes to you, busy or priority, time is the most precious commodity we have, and how someone spends their time is often a reflection of what they really prioritize in life. So if you notice that someone is always busy when it comes to you but has time for everyone else, it's time to reevaluate the relationship. Busy isn't always the real reason. Think of a familiar scenario. You text a friend asking to get together, and the answer is always, "Sorry, I'm too busy, maybe another time." You wait, hope, but those plans never materialize. Then you accidentally see them happily hanging out with someone else on social media. Not only does this hurt you, it also makes you question, am I really important to them? The Stoics always emphasize that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control how we respond. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Spend your time on those who truly deserve it." This teaching is not just advice, but also a guideline for determining which relationships are worth investing in. If someone doesn't make time for you, it's not because they're too busy, it's because they've chosen to prioritize others. Signs they don't prioritize you: 1. They always cancel or postpone plans. If you ask to meet up and they always say sometime, it's not because they're busy, it's a polite way of saying no. 2. They make time for others but not you. When you see them hanging out and meeting other people, but not spending an hour with you, this shows that you are not a priority to them. 3. They don't initiate contact. If you don't text first, the relationship is as good as dead. This proves that they don't value maintaining a relationship with you. When you realize that you are not a priority in someone's life, follow this Stoic advice. 1. Accept reality. Learn to distinguish between what you can control and what you can't. You can't force someone to spend time with you. What you can do is accept the fact and stop expecting. 2. Don't beg for attention. When someone doesn't spend time with you, the worst thing you can do is try to get their attention. Instead, maintain your self-respect and focus on relationships that bring you positive value. 3. Have a frank conversation. If the relationship is really important to you, try having a direct conversation. You might say, "I feel like we've been less connected lately. Is there anything I can do to improve our relationship?" This will not only show sincerity, but it will also help you understand the issue from both sides. 4. Let go if necessary. If after the conversation you realize that the relationship is no longer as valuable as it once was, be strong and walk away. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, accepting the truth is the first step to finding peace. Always remember, when someone says they're busy, it doesn't mean they don't have time. They just prioritize something else or someone else over you. This doesn't say anything about your worth, it just reflects their priorities. Instead of feeling sad or disappointed, focus on the people who value you and spend time nurturing those relationships. As Marcus Aurelius taught, do not waste your time on useless things, for time is the only thing you can never get back. Let the people who truly care about you fuel your energy, and let go of those who do not add positive value to your life. Your time is precious. Don't waste it on relationships that don't deserve it. Sign 5. They avoid physical contact. Distance is more than just an action. In communication, physical contact is an important part of building closeness and connection between people. A handshake, a pat on the shoulder, or simply sitting close together in a meeting can convey the message, "I acknowledge your presence." So what happens when someone intentionally avoids these gestures? It could be a sign of discomfort or a mental distance that they are afraid to say directly. Avoiding physical contact is more than just a habit or personality trait. In many cases, it reflects the emotional state and level of connection someone feels with you. They may avoid you not because you did something wrong, but because they feel insecure, jealous, or simply don't want to build a deeper relationship with you. I once worked on a team where there was one particular coworker who always tried to keep their distance. When other members shook hands or patted each other on the back after a meeting, he always avoided my gaze or withdrew his hand. At first, I thought it was just a personal habit, but then I realized he had no problem with the rest of the team. This made me wonder, why am I the only one being treated like this? Over time, I understood that this was his way of deliberately keeping his distance, perhaps because he disagreed with me on some points or felt that I was a threat in the work environment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not let your soul be drawn into things beyond your control." When you realize that someone is avoiding physical contact with you, you may feel awkward. But this is an opportunity to put Stoic philosophy into practice. When someone does not want to shake your hand or sit near you, this is not necessarily a personal rejection. Sometimes it is just a manifestation of their personality or emotional state. Epictetus once said, "Other people don't hurt you. It's how you interpret their actions that hurts you." Ask yourself, do they treat everyone like this or just me? If this behavior is directed at you, it may be a sign to reevaluate the relationship. But if they keep their distance from everyone else, it may be a personality or personal culture issue. One of the principles of Stoic philosophy is not to force anyone to do something they don't want to do. If they need space, respect it and don't try to cross that boundary. Instead of focusing on people who avoid you, invest your time and energy in people who are willing to build close, positive relationships. Epictetus once said, "When you see someone treating you coldly, tell yourself, this reflects their character, not my values." Physical distance can be a sign of disconnection, but it can also be just part of someone else's personality. It's important not to force intimacy or let their behavior hurt your inner peace. Remember, real relationships don't have to be forced. If someone keeps their distance, respect their space, and focus on other positive relationships. As Marcus Aurelius said, peace lies not in the acceptance of others, but in the acceptance of yourself. Sign 6. They disappear when you need them. A true friend is someone who is not only there when you laugh, but also when you cry. However, not everyone is like that. When things are going well in your life, you can easily be surrounded by friends who enjoy comfort and joy. But in the most difficult times when you need a shoulder to lean on, these people tend to disappear inexplicably. This not only hurts, but also makes you doubt your own worth. But from a Stoic perspective, these moments are actually opportunities for you to identify and purify the relationships in your life. Stoic philosophy always emphasizes that hardship is a natural part of life. It is during the storms of life that you will clearly see who is truly there for you. I once went through a major personal crisis when my job was in trouble and my family had health problems. In that moment, I called a close friend whom I trusted the most, hoping to receive help or at least a word of encouragement, but I was met with a long silence. The friend then sent a short text message, "Sorry, I've been so busy." At first, I felt disappointed and hurt, but after a while, I realized that people who disappear when you need them don't really care about you. It doesn't say anything about your worth, but about their character and how much they invest in the relationship. The Stoics taught that every hardship in life is a lesson and an opportunity. Epictetus once said, "Don't let someone's absence destroy your mind." This is a reminder that instead of letting the actions of others hurt you, use them as a sign to reevaluate your relationship. People who truly care about you won't abandon you when you're in trouble. Instead, they'll find a way to help or at least listen to you. If someone disappears, know that they don't deserve to be in your life. You can't control whether someone chooses to leave you, but you can choose how you respond. Being calm in the face of others' actions is strength. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius recounts a time when he faced betrayal from people he once considered close friends. When he was abandoned in a difficult time, instead of getting angry or disappointed, he wrote, "These people did not hurt me. It was my expectations of them that hurt." Marcus learned to let go of unrealistic expectations of support from others. He focused on building a strong inner self so that he wouldn't depend on anyone's actions. When someone disappears when you need them, don't be quick to blame them or ask yourself, "What did I do wrong?" Remember, their absence is a sign that you know who is truly worthy of your time and energy. Use difficult times as a natural test to purify your relationships. Focus on the people who stay and appreciate you through the good times and the bad. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not be afraid to lose what is not yours. Keep only what is truly important." Your time and energy are precious. Spend them on those who deserve it. Sign 7. They gossip behind your back. Betrayal and a profound lesson. Gossip is not just the act of spreading false or private information about another person, but also a way to lower their value to elevate yourself. It is an act of betrayal of trust and a clear sign that someone does not truly respect you. For the Stoic philosophy, the important thing is not to avoid all gossip, but to deal with it calmly and wisely. Gossip behind your back is often covered by a harmless facade. The gossiper may justify himself by saying that he is just sharing his opinion or talking for fun. But for the person being gossiped about, it is like a knife stabbing straight into trust. David once had a close friend whom he trusted enough to share personal secrets about his family and life. But one day, David overhears those stories being discussed publicly in another group of friends, with embellishments and twists. The hurt comes not just from the revelation of the secret, but from the realization that her best friend has not respected the trust David had placed in her. Epictetus once said, "It is not the actions of others that hurt you, but how you choose to perceive them." The Stoics emphasize that the words of others do not define you, but are a reflection of their character. How to identify a backstabber. If you suspect someone is backstabbing, look for a few signs. 1. They appear friendly to your face but have contradictory actions. Backstabbers often cover it up by acting sweet or overly friendly. 2. You hear your private information being spread. This is the clearest sign that trust has been betrayed. 3. They gossip about others in front of you. People who gossip about you are also likely to gossip about you to others. Gossip is not pleasant, but it is a test to help you see more clearly the relationships around you. Remember, gossip does not define you. People who gossip about you do not deserve your trust. Live by your values and let your actions speak for themselves. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Don't worry about what other people think. Live your life so that when they look at you, they can only admit that they were wrong." Life is too short to waste on relationships that don't deserve you, people who don't bring you respect and positivity. Remember, you deserve to be appreciated. People who truly care will always be there for you, without you having to hold on or prove your worth. Focus on these relationships and let them be your source of motivation. Control your emotions. Other people's actions are something you can't change, but how you react to them is within your control. Don't let them control your mind or your values. Have the courage to let go. If a relationship doesn't bring you positivity, have the courage to let go. Sometimes walking away is the only way to move on to something better. When you apply the Stoic philosophy, you will understand that it is calmness, self-control, and focus. Self-worth is the key to building a meaningful life with quality relationships. If you find the sharing in this video useful, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos about life philosophy, self-development, and how to apply Stoicism to modern life. We really appreciate your support, and you are the motivation for us to continue creating more valuable content. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Have you ever encountered a similar situation? How did you overcome it? We look forward to hearing your story. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.